Educators across the world are recognising an increase in anxiety amongst young people, which is concerning. What we find at Cluey is that we have a number of students whose parents report that they're anxious, and that the best thing for those students is to feel that they have a learning partner in their tutor, someone to whom they can confide about the challenges they're experiencing with their work at school, and somebody who has their back, if you like, someone who can actually support them, who understands how they learn, who can explain a concept as many times as is needed for them to feel that they understand it, and who will celebrate their successes with them. For a lot of students, there does seem to be an increase in anxiety, and what we want to do is to take the anxiety away by showing that we are their support. There's certainly a lot of talk amongst educators and academics about what they're seeing as anxiety around education. There is a sense of greater competition, that university placement, for example, that universities are hard to get into, that students have to compete on a very high level, and that they feel anxious from an early age about this. What we want to do is not increase that anxiety, but to dispel it, to provide students with the support they need so that they can learn.
What I don't like about school is subjects I'm not very good at, because I find it a bit difficult and then I don't really get what they're saying, so that everyone else does, but it's a bit hard for me.
I think as a parent, when it comes to how we bring up our kids and how their education goes, I think we started at the beginning very much on top of them and fighting with them and trying to get them to do what we thought was right and fighting about homework. And eventually we kind of just backed off, and I watched how other people did it, and they were on their kids the whole time and their kids worked hard and they really got results. It didn't work for us. So I think when something like Cluey came along and gave us the option to get someone else to tutor our kids, it really helped with the process and took that pressure off us.
Talking to parents as often as I do, I'm reminded how hard parenting is. And if we think about it, learning is pretty hard too. We think back on our student days with a great deal of nostalgia. The reality is that being a student is hard. We want to provide support to students and to parents so that we take some of the edge off that complexity. I would say as well that for a lot of parents, they find it very hard to support their children. Maybe it's because their child has reached that monosyllabic grunting stage and they can no longer have a conversation. Whatever it is, we want to provide support so that the child is being helped by a responsible, well-educated adult, and that we are providing complete transparency about that learning journey so that parents can feel calmer, that children can feel supported. We're making a way for them to become more confident learners so that they can go out into the world and themselves make it a better place.
My advice to any parents listening to this would be, if your child is struggling at school, if they're not happy at school, or you're struggling to get your child to school like we were with my son, who was getting lost in the school classroom because he was having trouble to learn. He didn't want to go to school. He loved the social side of it, but he was struggling with the academics. Once he's done tutoring now, he is a different kid. He's wanting to go to school. We're having no battles in the morning to get him on the bus. He's wanting to learn. He's wanting to come home and read books. The change has been undescribable. So if you're questioning tutoring, I would say to you, it can be the best thing for your child's development, and also not only academically, but you want your child to be happy and to go through school enjoying school, not coming down the end of school and hating the whole experience.
So in my experience, most kids are getting tutored. It just feels like that's the world we live in now, particularly as you get closer to HSC. The pressure and the need to do well relative to your peers means everyone's moving, and you almost have to be tutored to keep up with the game. So, you know, Cluey it's a convenient way of doing that. It gives good results because it's one-on-one and it's structured. So yeah, it's been a good process for us and had good results.
So I think it's really important to balance education and emotional states and to bring an all-rounded kid into the world. I think that education is great and it's important for them to get good results, but at the end of the day, if you're not bringing out a fully rounded child, you've probably lost the battle.